Good morning. It is 7:50 something here in Amarillo. I am trying out this little uh, tripod. So far, I have not had any go, so hopefully this little swirly one that has all these suction cups will work. But who knows? Good morning. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your wine, whatever you're going to drink this morning. It is time to get motivated. I have already listened to my music, um, brushing my hair, part of my makeup. I fell asleep with my makeup on last night, so yeah. I am so glad. Now, mind you, I love my Dom. My Dom is like the best in this whole entire world. Like, the best. There's no other one that compares to him. And well, let me tell you. So yesterday was interesting. We had the day together, when he got back to like 7 something, and then Charles came, and I'm like, it is Valentine's Day. It is not for 3 people, it is for couples. It is the day for couples, not 3 people. Not a third party. No. But we had fun because he turned off the TV and we listened to music. And every song that he played, I knew. When he played Bette Midler, what is it? The Rose. I knew that song. And then he played Wind Beneath My Wing. I said, Wind Beneath My Wing, Rhett Butler. Words this morning are like not here right now for me. It's hard to articulate, so just bear with me. I've only had like 2 cups of coffee, and I'm trying not to go for my 3rd cup because like we are like so low. So he played Bette Midler's Wind Beneath My Wing from Beaches. He played The Rose, and then he played Black Velvet, and then he played a couple of other songs that I remembered. I think I shocked him because I do remember those songs. And then that's when about Charles came over, and we just sat, talked, listened to music, shoot the breeze, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that I didn't prepare a special dinner, although he said it was special, because I did make it for him, for Valentine's Day. And I told him, I said, I'm sorry, it's not a special dinner like I wanted it to be. But it's like, I told him, I said, like, that's all we had I could work with. And he kind of told me to stop. I was like, oh? What? You just did not say to stop? What did I do wrong? And he's like, you made it for me. Especially for me. That is special. I'm like, that don't make it special, Daddy. That just means I did it with love and care because I love and care for you, and I want to nourish you. I'm not nourish him, but you get what I'm saying. I want to take care of him. And so before my mom decided to join the workforce area and become assistant manager at Kim's Bed and Bath, she was a very good, I'm going to say submissive, because she stayed home, she took care of the house, she took care of us kids, she cooked, she cleaned, she did everything. Now, mind you, I love my mom to death. She has her faults, just like I do. I am very much my mother's child, whether she wants to admit it or not. I get most of my traits from my mom. Now, my kindness and everything, I get from my dad. My dad has a really sweet soul when he is not on drugs or alcohol. He's a really caring person, and he knows no stranger at all. He'll talk to anybody if you give him a chance, and that's how he is. My mother is very, how do I put it? Prudence. She's very reserved. We'll just say she's very reserved. She's very reserved in things that she does. And very reserved. But she's it's just but anyways, I digress. So my mom was a housewife and mom, a stay-at-home. She was like a 24/7 submissive. If you do basically like the 1950s thing without the kinks, well, that I know of, without the kinks. But I mean, they could have gotten kinky, but I doubt it. My mom was like very much vanilla in Prudence. I'm still trying to figure out where I get my kinks from, because my mom is not it. So get it from somewhere. But yeah, so I don't know, where was it going with this thought process? Oh, yes, the submissive life. Being a submissive. Well, my take on being a submissive. I mean, everyone else has their take, because there is different kinks and stuff like that. It depends on what, like, me and my dom, we live kind of like in the 1950s, couple would, but more in a modern time era. So there's that. That's a kink. Believe it or not, that is a kink. I looked up kinks online, and it had a list, and the very top one, now mind you, the very top one was the 1950s version of, you know, what a housewife would be like back then. So, and that was like number one. It had that one, and then it had all the other like spicy kinks. But the 1950s version was more subtle and more, it's just basically the woman stays home and takes care of the house. That's what I do. I stay home and I take care of the dog and take care of the house. He does the fish because I don't trust myself with that. Every time I've had fish, they die. So he gets that. I get everything else, which I'm perfectly good with. I love it here. But I still need to talk to him about getting a key so me and her, which I'm talking about my puppy dog here, can go on walks at the park, and I can get all this bent up energy out of her, and she sleeps through the night. Because like the only time she is like completely worn out and doesn't get her second wind when it's time to go to bed is when we bring Rusty here. Or she goes over there, and then she comes back, or he goes back home, and she's plumb tuckered out. She's exhausted. Exhausted. So, yep, there's that. Yeah, my daughter woke up finally at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, texted me going, "You too, Mom?" And I'm like, "Oh, I see somebody finally has decided to join the living today." I was like, "Did you forget to charge your phone? Did we finally get our phone charged where we can talk to Mama?" And she just laughed. She's like, "Something like that, Mom. I just woke up." And I'm like, "You just woke up. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, child, and you just are waking up. Do you see a problem here?" Of course you don't. It's perfectly normal for that child to sleep until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm definitely, most definitely going to have to redo my hair, but later on. Because it's not that bad. And I will get to it. Yeah, there's that part right there. And then, like, back here. I'll wait until it gets a little bit longer with the shaved part. Well, it's not completely shaved, but with a part that my daughter did that was supposed to be like a pixie cut, but she just shaved it really short in the back and on the sides. You see this? And then left this part long. So it was longer. Okay, so this is what happened. Oh my God, we're gonna go into this story. Okay, so my daughter tried to succeed in reuniting me and her stepdad. Because by law we are still married, we are apart, and he has her and I have my dom. I think you would say we're poly, but we're separated. That's the way it's going to stay, because I've already tried. And I've closed that fucking door with him with any kind of dynamic whatsoever, because he hasn't changed one bit. He says he has, but he hasn't. That was a very interesting ordeal. So here's the story to that. He was supposed to kick all of them out because they're not doing anything, and move in me and my daughter. Well, he calls me and he's like doing this sobbing story. "I just want to kill him. Why can't everyone get along? Blah, blah, blah." And I'm thinking, okay, is there a point to this madness and this meltdown that you're having? Because I am not seeing the point of this. And he's like, "Why can't everyone get along?" And I'm like, "Dude, what are you trying to hint at? Because this, why can't everyone get along? I don't have to get along with her. I am not there." And he's like, "Everyone should trust me, yada yada." And I'm like, oh, everyone should trust you. What have you proven to be trustworthy about? I mean, because trust is earned. It is not just given, especially after given the first time. and you go and fuck it up with your bullshit. That's that. You know, you cheated on me with this said other person. You went out looking for other. Instead of coming to your wife, who is supposed to be your other half in your soul. You went out looking for other. Not me. Not me. No, I stayed home. I played the housewife. I played the stay-at-home mom. You know, I did what I could. I wasn't perfect by far. But given what I had to work with, because he carried the money and the cards. I didn't have anything, and then we had barely food at the house, and I'm trying to figure out how to get food in the house. So I end up going, okay, well, let's do this. So let's get food stamps and do it that way. Well, he ends up with the food stamp card. So now I'm left thinking, okay, so what do we do now? I mean, you have the food stamp card. And you have the other cards. We need groceries in this house while you are gone, because there are times that you are gone for weeks. He'll come home the next day and then have to leave that night, like around 2 or something. So it was like I had to figure out how to feed these kids, because I had 2 older kids to take care of that needed food, and I had a baby that needed food. So I was left trying to figure stuff out. I was not only going through that, but I was in a deep depression, and I needed my spouse to see this and to help me get out of this depression. But instead, he just, I don't know, he decided to go somewhere else instead of attend to his wife. Marriage is not for me. I have been married twice, and they both ended terribly. So, when I say I am more of a collar me girl, I am a collar me girl. Unless it's like, you know, just a ring that you think would look pretty on me, or if it's my birthstone, something like that, or if it's obsidian or onyx, I would wear it. I would wear it because you give it to me, and not because it's like a promise ring or if it's an engagement ring. If it's any of that, then I would be like, no. Now, you want to get me a collar, we'll talk about that. But again, in the lifestyle, that collar means more. It has more meaning and symbolism to it than a ring would in the vanilla world. So, anyways, what was I saying? So in a 1950s aspect, my mom would be the submissive wife, until she went and we moved here to Amarillo, and then she got a job working at Kim's Bad and Bath as assistant manager. And then, before that, she did, when I was younger, she did work at my Nana's little breakfast or lunch nook that she had in Sunray. So I am now the part of the submissive girlfriend that just takes care of the house. I want to go over stuff with y'all because me and my dom was talking yesterday, and we're talking about spicy time, and I said something on the lines of, you don't mind that spicy time has kind of died down, do you, Daddy? And he was like, no, baby girl, I don't. Do you? I was like, no. I said, sex isn't everything in a relationship or in a dynamic. And I said, that's where people get the lifestyle wrong. They think that it's all about the kinks. Now mind you, the kinks and the spicy time and everything, yes, I look forward to the spicy time with him. But it's not everything. It's a nice, don't get me wrong, it's very nice to have. Very nice, and it's great. Spicy time is great. But to me, the what we do during the day after he gets back and during the morning, like, that's like the little things like that just mean more to me than the sexual part of the relationship. And so, and now mind you, I wasn't like this with any of my others because it really wasn't a connection or a bond there. I didn't want emotions with them because I had no emotions with them. They were just partners. To me, to them, they caught feelings after even when I told them not to catch feelings, because I don't have those emotions and feelings for them like they did me. Not my fault that they fell for me. I mean, I still don't get it, but and then we was talking about Trina, and I asked Daddy, which is my dom, I said, Daddy, have you seen Trina? Have you seen Kat? And he's like, no, she's in the San Jacinto area. And he goes, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but he said, because I am taken now, she has like no need to be here. I was like, oh, well, I'm sorry that I ran her off. And he's like, don't be. I was like, well, I mean, I'm not a heartless person. Did you have somewhat empathy and sympathy for somebody? But now is that to say that I might be sorry that she thought she had to go because he was the only thing that was keeping her here, and now that he has somebody, that kind of is out the door. But that was her decision. Nobody shooed her away. Nobody shooed her away. She just got butt hurt. That's all that is. And I'm like, and then I was thinking, okay, what was this fiasco with Alex? And he's like, that was a slap in the face to me. That was, to me, an insult. And I was like, that was not just an insult, Daddy. That was like, she was basically telling you to go fuck yourself. And he's like, yeah, she was. And I was like, yeah, I mean, because if you've seen this dude, he's not very attractive. Not very attractive at all. I don't know what my daughter sees in him, but right now, he is her favorite. Here's two favorites. And she wishes, I mean, with her, it's not bipolar. What is it?
It's not multiple, what is it?
It's almost like bipolar, but it's a personality disorder. And so with this, not the DID, okay? So with this other disorder that she has, and she has many, but this is just one of them. Okay, she has a favorite. And unfortunately, Alex is the favorite. Don't ask me why. Because in my eyes, he's not even a man. But half of those yahoos over there are not even a man. I mean, I would not even give, I don't even know why I gave Patrick the time and to get people off my back. That's why. Or even that we even lasted as long as we did, because like I said in my previous videos before, I was the Dom. I don't play Dom. I hate playing Dom. Like, okay, here's an instance, okay? We was at the U, and it was in the morning, and I was doing what a submissive does. She gets up in the morning, she makes the bed, she makes the coffee. We didn't have any of that, but we had the bed and we had the sheets and stuff like that. So I was in the process of making the bed. And he's like, you did it wrong. And he just unmakes the fucking bed and then does it himself and belittles me about it. So I'm like, you know what, motherfucker, fuck you. Not happening. Not on your ever-loving fucking life. Yeah, you could go ahead and do that shit. You want to play the part of the submissive? Fine. Be the submissive. But you do not get into my inner sanctum by being a submissive. You don't get anywhere. I shut off anything to you if you become the submissive, because I will not play the dominant part. And I had to play the dominant part in every aspect of our relationship, even in the vanilla sense. I had to play that role of the dominant. Again, the only thing that was, it was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. I'm just saying, it was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. Don't even know what I was thinking. I should not have even listened to freaking, what's his name, and freaking went with Patrick. I mean, he wasn't even my type. And I think I knew he was a submissive because I really just, I didn't like associate myself, and I hate to sound like this, but I did not associate, even when we was like in the group and everything, we hanged out with the same clique, but I didn't associate with him. I didn't put out like any inkling that I had any emotions attached to him, or even had a crush on him. I did not have that crush on him. He did not even get, and I hate to, again, this was cruel, but I didn't find him attractive. There was no attraction with me to him. And so it was just there. And especially after Unspicy Time the first time, that's when I really knew And I mean, I really knew that this wasn't going to work out. Because during this process, this long haul, okay, I had to show him how to please a woman. I have never had to show a guy how to please a woman, because okay, once, and that was in East Texas, and yeah, I was like, nah. And it ended the same way that this one did, except for the last one, I had ended it before, and the dude just didn't understand that what is done is done. You fucked up completely. The minute I take this collar off and I laid it on that counter, that is the day that I stopped being your submissive, I stopped being your girlfriend, and I stopped it all. And all I was the person that was working for your mom. Now with Patrick, the dude would just not leave me be. I had no fucking breathing space with him. And it irked me because I was like, I cannot stand the fact that you are hanging around me constantly. That shows your insecurity. I don't have a problem with insecurities. You deal with them in a relationship. Yes, I get that and I understand this. But when he is smothering me, and I'm like shrugging him off, like, okay, that's enough. Yeah, no. And he's constantly around me. Like, in order for me to get any freaking space, I had to walk out of the quiet room, okay, and like go talk to like Katrina, or go visit with my now Dom, or go outside, find a cigarette, have some freaking fresh air, because I was feeling suffocated. I was feeling so suffocated. This man here, let me tell you, I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. Like, I long for his touch. I longed for his touch way before we got together. The day, and this is a story. Okay, so this was right before Christmas. David was there and he had a mask on. And so I went to go give him a hug like I usually do, and he tells me, hey doll, I'm sick, I don't want to get you sick, yada yada yada. Like, okay, I understand that, that's cool. Kudos, because usually it doesn't matter. He actually cared enough to say, hey, let me get better and then I'll give you a hug. And so he was, I go into the quiet room, I get out my notebook, and I get out a piece of paper and a pen, and I write him this note, just basically saying, hey, I hope you get to feeling better. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like stuff like that. I hope you get to feeling better. In fact, I'll get the note. Hold on. Okay, you didn't hear that. So, anyways, it just basically said wishing him a, Yule, a beautiful Yule and summer summer solstice. I'm ready for summer. Winter solstice. And then I hope he got to feeling better, and I put my signature on there. And then when I saw him that same day, because I laid it on his desk. Okay, I laid it on his desk, and I walked away. And then when I saw him last, because he was coming out, I think he was coming either in or out of the main room, which is the big, huge TV room. I asked him, I said, hey, did you get that note that I left on your desk? And he's like, and he grabbed my shoulder, my elbow, and he lightly touched it. That moment, I knew that I wanted him. I wanted him. That touch alone was like fire to me, and it ignited me. And I was like, oh, I gotta make this man mine. I don't care what it takes, how long it takes. I am going to make this man mine. He is going to be mine, come hell or high water. If I have to ask a boon from my deities and my ancestors and anybody that is willing to help me to get this man, he's going to end up being mine. And usually I get what I want. I usually get what I want. He would have been mine before, but people freaking interfered, like always. Always interfering. Ugh. And some shouldn't, because they're only 19. Like, let me do what I do best. I know how to get a man, especially somebody that I want. I've done it before, way before you were even in the freaking picture. If I wanted this Yahoo over here, he would have already been mine. But I don't want him. You know, he's not even an option. You put that option there for me. I wanted David. David is the one that I wanted. From the get-go, I wanted him. And I should have never listened to a 19-year-old. And I regret it now. But I'm here now. And it's better. But I would not have went through hell if I just would have stayed with my plan. So, yeah. And we wouldn't have really went through hell with Patrick. I guarantee he would have been butthurt if I said, no, I think I'm going to take my chances. I'm going to go with my gut feeling and go with David. It was funny because last night, I can't remember what song. I would have to look at YouTube and see what song it was that he played. Because we looked at each other when he played that song. I looked at him and I said, and I smiled. He was trying not to laugh, and I looked at him and he looked at me and he's like, the song reminds me of Yahoo and what happened. And I'm like, okay, you really got to get out of my head, because that's a scary place to be. And you keep on going there, and it's really scaring me. But in a good way, it's scaring me, because that means I have completely